these are my thoughts. Bravo has certain kids that are kind of the apple of their eye, or the ones that they're placing in certain positions. Brooks is one of them. I think he's the type kid that Andy Cohen, a Bravo, Peacock, they like that type kid. And I think they gave him a lot of leeway as far as assembling everyone and putting the chess pieces on the board. I think Kandi Burruss is liked by Bravo. Even though I think when they were holding out her contract, they were being shady. I think they knew they wanted Portia. They knew they wanted Phaedra back. They knew Kandi didn't want to work with either one of them. And so I think they stalled until Kandi said, I got a lot going on, so later for it. But they left the door open, and Kandi has a deal where she can produce different shows through them and do whatever. And we know she's doing her Broadway thing, her Emmy-winning play with Denzel. So Kandi's not upset about not being on Real Housewives, but I think they like Riley, and they don't want to insult Kandi or Riley. I think Teresa has made so much money for them, even though Jersey, I think, is paused right now. We don't know when they're coming back. Teresa has given them so much story over the years that I don't see them offending Teresa. I think they always wanted Gia to be able to do something. And then also with Kim, Andy and Bravo and Peacock love Tardy for the Party. They love themselves some Kim Zolciak. I'm not a Kim Zolciak fan. Kim has her people that do like her. This is funny. This came up. Brooks was asking Riley, well, so you're from Georgia and Ariana too. Do you know her? You're both Real Housewives kids. Do you know her? She said, well, I haven't seen her since I was like 10. We used to be friends, but once your parents fall out, you can't have your friend bring you somewhere. So yeah, they were that young. Sharon Gobble Charlie didn't mean to say that. And I do like Brooks. Cece said, don't touch her if you wash your hands. Okay, Cece. I agree with that. But yeah, this is disgusting. She touched the shoe and touched her hands. But they alluded to they didn't allude to it. They flat out said, Kandi said that, of course, as we know, because we watch Real Housewives of Atlanta over here, Kandi and Kim fell out. And I'm going to blame Kandi. She did the Tardy for the Party thing kind of to spite Nene, because Kim was coming on as a country singer or whatever. And she met with Dallas Austin. She met with this other lady that was a prominent vocal coach. But Kim wasn't doing nothing, kicking up her leg in studio session, singing badly. When Kandi came on, Nene came up with, oh, Tardy for the Party. I like this, Kim. It was on one of those little demo tapes that they had. And Kandi took the song and made it into like a camp club hit, Tardy for the Party. Kim was able to make between $80,000 and $90,000. They showed the clip on the reunion. And Andy's like, well, how much did you make? Kim's like, I don't even know. I didn't check it out. I don't know, lying. And Kandi says she made between $80,000 and $90,000. And I got like 3 or 4. And Kandi was crying. She's doing her cry talking. And we know it wasn't about the money. That's not it. Kandi is a producer, and she's a writer, and she's all of this. For me, and I knew it was the principle for Kandi. She thought she and Kim were friends because they used to travel together and all this stuff. Kim saw Kandi as someone she could use. Because Nene is the one, let's get real, Nene was the Brooks of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Nene assembled that show and brought everyone on. So the way some of them treated Nene over the years, Nene will always have a place in my heart because I know what she was able to do for that show. You know, even though the ice is kind of thawing on her, I just feel it's wrong the way a lot of them treated her over the years, including Kim. So that's what happened. They have fallen out, and Ariana and Riley, they started out being little friends, but then Riley know not to even ask Kandi to bring her over Kim's once they're not talking anymore, because Kim stabbed Kandi in the back, in my opinion. So that's what happened with that. And Cece, Kandi did all of that work. Let me make sure. Okay, I thought I had it up there. Kandi did all that work for the Clear Girl, stole the money from her, sucker move. It was. And then Andy was like, would you give her like a share of it or whatever? My lawyer says I don't have to. So Kim is trifling. But y'all, I forgot to mention this. When Ariana and Hudson were doing a joint confessional, you know, Hudson is the kid of Zaxby's. I know the parents are like kind of hanging back because some of those kids, if you push too hard, he could end up married to the girl. But I know they're not loving that, y'all. Ariana's sweet enough, but Hudson, woo, wrap it up. Do not get this girl pregnant. Okay. I'm just going to say that to Hudson. Y'all. Anyway, Ariana's saying, all my money's gone. She said, I don't know how much it was. Now, remember we said we saw Ariana on the show at age 6. There's a law against that. There's the child labor law. Hollywood in particular, or any type, well, anywhere in the country, their money's supposed to be set aside. Ariana let us know that my mom and dad took all my money. They have spent every dime that this girl has had. So she's in her early 20s. She's been on TV the better part of, now I was just thinking of Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she did, Andy Cohen gave her that show, Tardy for the Party, and that was on for years. Elisa Triplett, Nene told Candy that Kim was a snake, but Candy couldn't hear it because Candy had fallen out with Nene, and you can't tell Candy anything. So, you know, Candy was naive as far as that went, because I never saw that friendship. Kim thought she'd be filthy rich when she married Croy. Boy, was she fooled. Yeah, like I said, he had a half a season as a Falcon. He did that Dancing with the Stars Atlanta thing, and she met him. She saw that big booty Croy, and she went crazy, thought she had her NFL person. He wasn't even on that team by the end of that season, and he's been serving as her driver for years. But Ariana told us, and production showed it in confessional and in conversation with Hudson. And Hudson's one of those kids that come from money, but the parents probably had to really work to get that money and establish that business and franchise it. And I think they don't play about their money or about their son. And he was actually saying, I think you should say no sometime. Y'all, Kim calls and gets money from Ariana. She calls and gets money from Ariana, y'all. So Ariana might have income coming in. She said online income, so she might be an influencer or something like that. So now I have compassion for her. You know, that mugshot she had, this girl's drinking. How is Kim, who's been on TV over a decade, close to 2 decades, taking money from her daughter and has already spent Ariana and Brielle's money? Y'all, this is disgusting. This is really terrible. Kim is more disgusting than I thought. We knew she was a snake, but this, I haven't seen anything like this. So Ariana said her New York dream is to be a fashion designer. Ariana, did you take any design classes? Do you sew at all? Do you do any of that? See, this is the kind of thing that gets under my skin. I have a sewing machine. I don't really sew, but I've taken a class. One of my nieces liked clothes. She took a class with me too. But I wouldn't go to New York saying, I'm trying to be a fashion designer just because they put me on TV. And now I think that I can jump into fashion designing like Sheree did with Michael Knight that year. Just ridiculous. That makes sense, Mama Bees. I think I heard something about that during the divorce court documents that's still going on. Are they really getting divorced? Mama Bees, I have a banner running. So this is allegedly, and in my opinion, but Kim may have a gambling habit. Okay, see, that would make sense. But Hudson is advising Ariana to not give Kim any more money. So, y'all, that was the first episode. Let me see. I'm trying to make sure I went through everything. We got introduced to everyone. You see the picture over there of them. I said Brooks is the glue. Ava's I'm on the fence with Ava. TNT mom, she does need help, and she's been needed help. All that drinking. They were talking about Kim drinking a $200 bottle of wine. I guess Kim's online doing stuff, and Ariana says, you know, I don't know how much it costs, but I don't know where she's getting the money from. And she's asking me for money. Okay, I have in my notes, Lil' Kim file a lawsuit. There are labor laws, child labor laws about this. Your money should have been in a trust. So in addition to Real Housewives of Atlanta, there also was the Tardy for the Party where Kim was showcasing her kids, showcasing their lifestyle, meanwhile spending her, and I would assume Brielle's money too. And then what about the 3 sons? We know Croy's family never liked Kim. They saw her as Kim's trash. I remember Nene always saying that. You trash, you're going to bend trash, you're going to always be trash. Back to the close your eyes with To Married Men. I have to agree, Sharon Gabo. Ava's not to be trusted, in my opinion. Yeah, she definitely identifies with one side, and then she also have kind of snake blood in her as well. So I would watch Ava. I wouldn't depend on Ava to kind of have my back. And I think, now one thing I do like about Riley, I can just see her personality. She kind of laid back, but she's also watching everybody, and she doesn't seem to be like a punk or you can run over her. So I do like that. And we know how Mama Joyce is. I think there's things about Riley, her looks, and then sometimes her demeanor, and then the way she'll make her face or whatever. She reminds me of Mama Joyce. So they're doing a lot of joint interviews with each other. Brooks has been in interviews with, I think, almost all of the cast. They showed the apartment hunting. Ariana has told her about the financial things that she's going through. My heart goes out to her. I can't imagine being 21 or 22, having an able-bodied mom, even though she used to always cry about, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I remember Nene said, you know, where's your scooter? You don't have everything that happened to you. Where's your scooter? So Kim's over there playing sick, yet you can gamble and drink and buy designer clothes to porn. Come on now, that's crazy. My question is, why was Nene good friends with trash? Level up in all areas of your life. That's true, CC. I think that Nene might be had at the time more loyal to people than they were to her. Because she said, oh, Kim and I, we've been knowing each other. I think at the time when the show came out, she said about 3 years or so. And also her and Sheree. Remember how Sheree treated her? Made fun of her teeth, get your teeth fixed and all this kind of stuff. Believe Tyrone, the jailbird's word over Nene, that Nene was trying not to take a job that Sheree kind of needed, some kind of club hosting thing. So Nene does appear to have friends that are not real friends and kind of turn their back on her later. I was surprised when her and Candy didn't get along. Candy said she was surprised at that too, but we'll see what happens. Let's see, they tried to get Croy not to marry Kim. He got what he asked for. TNTG, my birthday. Okay, because did Kim have a wedding special? Yeah, there's some money there. Ariana, she needs to file a lawsuit. She needs to file a lawsuit. I couldn't imagine my mother even, or father, rest in peace to both of them. These parents that do that to their children and use them as the come up. So Ariana is now worrying about money, worrying about renting an apartment. And she said, and I want to put my share in it. Now, she knows she expected Hudson to come with the bulk of the money. So I will watch next episode. I'm going to go week by week. I'll watch next episode. This one's worth watching or flipping through or coming at the end like Sharon did. But I liked it. I thought it was cute. I knew some of them would get on my nerves, and they did. Georgia, wash your hands. That's nasty. Came out the bathroom and didn't want to watch. And Charlie had the nerve to have a confessional talking about, I didn't see nothing wrong with what Georgia did. He said, my penis is clean. I don't always wash my hands after I use the restroom. I'm with Cece now. I almost don't want nobody to touch me because this is nasty, y'all. Oh, so Cece's confirming Kim and Croy did have a wedding special. That's when she fell out with her own parents. Yeah, Kim came from a weird upbringing. I remember one time Kim invited them over and they were very trashy. And Kim had a child that she was breastfeeding. And the father was commenting on, oh, yeah, he going to be like breastfeeding on one side and doing this on the other side. That's what Kim's father said, y'all. So I'm not shocked at her being able to cut them people off. It's too trashy and weird. Sharon liked it also. Okay, so every week I'm going to aim to review it the day after. So it comes on Tuesday nights. So sometime, what is today? Is today Wednesday? Yeah, today's Wednesday. Dropping Extra Sassy Tea Talk. We're going to get into it tonight, y'all, because Portia did some things that rubbed me the wrong way. So we got Tea Talk with your girl, dropping Extra Sassy Tea Talk. Tea Talk with your girl, Drop the Tea, and Sassy TV from the 803. And me, Sandra P's Gen Extra. So just come back between probably 7:30, 7:45 on any of the 4 channels, or y'all have been actually circulating to each channel and then just making comments, leaving a like, and just making an appearance everywhere. So we do love that. So please like. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll see you in the YouTube streets. Thank you so much. Bye.